Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. I've come to Aberystwyth today, a Welsh coastal town with its own university and two very beautiful beaches overlooking the sea. But I haven't come here for either the university or the beaches. Today I've come here for two reasons really. One of them is right behind me there, that's the cliff railway, and the other one is at the top of the cliff. This railway takes me up. I'm going to go and get a ticket to go up there, and I shall see you at the top and explain to you exactly what the other reason is why I'm here. That cliff railway was very interesting. Only takes a few minutes to get up, and it's operated on a counterbalance chain link system, which means that basically there are two cars, one at the top of the cliff, one at the bottom of the cliff, and they are connected by a chain link which runs up and down the hill, but it uses gravity. Basically what happens is the top carriage will start to move down the hill, and the weight of it allows for the other carriage at the bottom of the hill to be dragged up the hill. I had to move from where I just was. There was a very large bee flying around me, and I was a bit concerned that I might be about to be attacked. Anyway, as I was saying, the cliff railway works on a counterbalance system, on a chain link system basically, where one carriage at the top of the hill, one carriage at the bottom of the hill, and the weight of the carriage at the top of the hill moving downwards then drags the bottom carriage up the hill on the chain link. Really ingenious way of getting up and down the mountain. But also at the top of this hill here, I've discovered that there's a building with a camera Obscura inside it. Now, if you don't know what one of those is, I'm just going to quickly explain to you. They've been used since about the 16th century, and basically they were invented even before the advent of stills photography. And what they do is, it can be a box or a room, in this case, with a hole at one end where light comes through the hole and it's projected then onto a table or a wall, and it projects moving images onto that table or wall. And that's basically what it is. And obviously it's like a pinhole camera, where essentially the light is coming through a hole and allowing it to be projected onto a screen. Well, I'm going to go in there and have a look at that then. I might take a few more photos while I'm up here, but obviously there's a gift shop, the Camera Obscura, a Crazy Golf, a cafe. There's all kinds of buildings dotted around at the top of this place, which are making it difficult for photography. And the cliff railway costs £7 for an adult single, or £8 for an adult return, meaning you can go up and down the hill. I've just bought a single because there is a path that also runs back down the hill anyway, so I'm going to use that path to get back down the hill. I may even decide to go to the cafe up here before I go and get my lunch, because it is now lunchtime. But I'll see how I feel in just a moment. So it was completely dark in there, couldn't see a thing except for the light being projected onto the screen in front of me in the middle of the floor. Really interesting, because the Camera Obscura itself is basically just a hole in the roof, and you can move that around through 360 degrees and look at panoramic views of everything that's going on around the area. And it is, like I said earlier, moving images. And this one here, it's quite a large one. It's one of the biggest in the world. And this was really the reason I wanted to come up the cliff railway today, to have a look at this place. But now I'm going to walk down the side of the cliff back into Aberystwyth and see what's going on there. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to have my lunch at this cafe yet, but I'll probably do that anyway and head back down. Okay, so I didn't bother going in the cafe at the top of the hill, to be quite honest with you. Far too many people in there, really packed. I mean, it's a nice warm sunny day and it's in the summer holidays, so obviously there's going to be people in there, isn't there? But I am quite glad that I stayed up there for a little while longer, because what I discovered was there's a shot over to the north of here, looking across the sea towards the Mouthack estuary, which I shot in a recent vlog. And basically you can see almost to Barmouth on a really good day. Now I've got the 400mm lens out and tried to focus on what looks like Barmouth, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure whether it is actually Barmouth. I can't tell from this distance. It's not easy to recognise something that far away. So I hope it is Barmouth, but it may not be. But yeah, I stopped up there and took a photo there. But also I'm glad that I walked down the side of the hill rather than catching the train back down. Because first of all, there is this bridge that I'm standing on right now, which is part of the pathway coming down the hill. And behind me, I don't know how well you can see it just there, there is the Cliff Railway. And that's the carriage that in a few moments time will be going down the hill and using its weight to pull the carriage at the bottom of the hill back up the hill. So that's quite an interesting spot. But also a little further down from where I'm standing, there's another bridge, and I don't think you can see it here. You may be able to, just over here. And I may be able to walk across that and get some photos here as well. Well, I'm glad I went up there when I did. If I'd gone up any later, crikey, you should have seen the queue for the Cliff Railway when I come down. I don't know if you can see it at the back of me just there. Way out of the building itself, the entrance to it. So I'm quite happy I went up nice and early. I'm just heading down to the beach front now just to see if I can get a couple of shots there. It's probably nothing that interesting, but it's always worth having a quick look. And then I'm going to pop into town and get some lunch. Well, that's a pain, isn't it? I can't get any closer to that wooden groin behind me, which sticks out into the water. I wanted to try and get a little bit closer to it and try and take a long exposure so I can blur and soften that water out. And that'll be a really arty-farty kind of image. But obviously at the moment I can't get close enough to do that. But I think if I get my 100 to 400mm lens out and shoot at possibly 135mm, I can maybe get a long exposure just there. So I'm going to give it a try anyway. But while I'm here, I've just remembered that I recently bought a new variable neutral density filter which will fit on the front of my 100 to 400mm lens. So I'm going to have a go at this one. My experience taking that final photo was difficult, to say the least, and also a little scary as well at the same time. Basically, what I was trying to do was capture images of that wooden groin in the sea. But every time I tried to take a shot, there were a bunch of kids who were climbing up the wooden walkway at the end of it where I couldn't get to, but they were climbing up from the beach and climbing onto the wooden walkway and diving off right in front of me. So it made it very, very difficult, first of all, for me to actually get a shot of, say, a 15 or a 30-second exposure. But also then, eventually, a lifeguard came along and told them to stop climbing up and jumping off the wood because it was dangerous. So eventually they managed to move out the way and I was able to get a shot. But also just after that, a guy came over to me and started asking me, he had a camera, and he started asking me, what are you taking photos of? Not the kids, I hope. So I explained the situation to him and showed him the photos at the end of it. So he was quite happy. But yeah, I was a little bit concerned about that because I wasn't trying to take photos of kids, definitely not. But they just happened to be in the shot all the time. So eventually I managed to get a shot that I wanted, and I hope you like that image. But for now, what I'm going to do is leave it here because there's nothing else really that I can photograph here. And I want to go and get some lunch because it's nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. And then I'm going to go back to Barmouth. So I hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And also please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.